Well, thanks a lot for staying with us here on Sunrise Live on E on this wonderful, thoughtful Thursday morning. Now, the Targeting Talent program from Wits University has been running for the past 12 years with the aim of assisting learners with their academic work, especially those from disadvantaged communities. What the program does is that it aims to assist grade 10, 11 as well as 12s until their final year of grade 12 into university and basically making sure that they graduate. So to help us understand the role of the program and perhaps how is it that we can better involve our young people into programs such as this for the betterment of their lives. I'm joined in studio now by the project director of the Student Equity and Talent Management, Zena, and also Wits University graduate Tumelo Marule. Remember to be a part of this conversation. All you need to do is give us a call on 011 447 1742, alternatively 1620, and also feel free to leave your comments on our Facebook as well as our Twitter pages. Ladies, welcome. Love having conversations with women in the morning. Zena, let's start off with you. I mean, looking at the fact that you're a project manager for this campaign, and you were speaking to me about how it's actually like it's a campaign on its own. It's a standalone, independent campaign that really aims to assist young people, grade 10 up until 12, to really be capacitated and fully ready for university. Just tell us about this program.
Yes. So Faith, I think you've highlighted a very important point because many learners are what we would call eligible for university, but they're not always ready for the university environment. Yeah. So the Targeting Talent program, which is completely donor funded, run through the university, basically aims to identify learners with academic potential in grade 10, and we work with them for 3 years with the aim of facilitating access to higher education. And obviously, because the program entails various components, the one major component is a deep simulation of what university life will be like when you get there, so that when you enter these big buildings, it's not a big shock to you.
Well, you enter these big buildings, it's not a big shock, and also that you don't get swallowed by a week, right?
Yes.
Tumelo. Look, I'm speaking as a former Witsi, so I know exactly what happens during that time. So you are an alumni of the program in itself. Just tell me about some of the sort of the outtakes and the benefits of even being involved in such a program, because many people are watching this for the first time saying, I don't even know that a program of this nature even exists.
So this program is very exciting. So I was in the program since 2012, and now I'm a mentor for the mentees, the young individuals that are recruited now in the program. So being a TTP alumni allows me to become a mentor. So what that means is now I'm able to give out those skills that I've learned, skills such as team building, communication skills, leadership skills. And with that, I am being able to complete my honors this year in construction management.
Hey, high five.
Yes.
When girls get empowered, when girls do well, my heart goes. It's like a beautiful thing. Yeah.
So I believe TTP has actually helped me to bridge that gap. Yeah. Because it is a huge gap to bridge between high school and varsity, and to actually be given the opportunity and to have the privilege of bridging that gap is quite fantastic.
We're going to talk about bridging the gap because there's a huge disconnect between basic education and higher education that we always consistently talk about. But as we know that we invite you to be a part of our conversation, starting off with Ian calling in from Vereniging. Ian, how are you this morning? Good morning to you.
Hallo, gaan ek dit maar Afrikaans praat?
Jy kan Afrikaans praat, ek sal jou mooi hoor.
Okay. Ek wil net 'n bietjie vir die al die studente sê hulle moet baie sterk wees en hulle moet net hard leer. Dit help baie.
Baie dankie. No, you mentioned a very important point there, though. She's just like basically sending a message of motivation rather for young people. They must be very strong, and of course they must just like work very hard. That disconnect between basic education, higher education, one would say that is a conversation that needs to happen persistently. However, I would imagine that many organizations and even employers are getting tired of saying, guys, we need to find a way of unifying and finding synergies between basic and higher, because when these kids get to higher education, they're not prepared for the environment and they're not able to articulate themselves enough so they can be incubated in the various universities of choice.
Absolutely. I think what we've observed over the past 11 years is that the disconnect is there. And I don't think that the Department of Basic Education is oblivious to it. I think it's about looking at identifying programs that can make meaningful impact. So what we realize is that particularly with the learners that we select, we know that there are significant areas, particularly in content area, that is problematic.
Yeah.
So we have to do both supplementation and enrichment. The supplementation we basically do is in maths and science because we know those are your gateway subjects to access higher education. The enrichment program, which happens in June, is a 16-day program where we basically expose the learners to a range of subjects, from forensic science to philosophy to law to your mainstream
So basically,
school
this
subjects.
is exactly what you're going to get anyways during that
Absolutely.
orientation week or during, you know, the
Yeah.
actual career workshops.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I think what it does, Faith, is it forces the learners to think out of the box, because when learners enter the program, it's basically, this I wasn't taught in school. So the mentality is I only do what I've been exposed to, and we're saying to you, you need to think broader, wider, deeper.
Yeah. Now, I mean, obviously, as a mentor now, when we're looking at that disconnect, when we're looking at what young people are given in basic education versus what they're exposed to in higher education, where would you say the challenges mostly lie, or those touch points mostly lie for you guys?
I think the most problematic areas would either be your communication skills and how you articulate yourself. Because within the communication skills, it's very difficult for a learner who's in grade 12 to be able to explain, for example, a mathematical strategy from what the teacher has actually outlined to them, and then be able to understand it and carry it out for 3 years until matric, until they write their final exam. But now when you go through this program, like Mama Zena said, you get exposed to quite a lot of ways and techniques to actually do one problematic subject, you know? So with that being said, it helps you as a learner to see that there are ways of actually going from one area to another area and still completing it.
Well, you mentioned a very interesting point here about, you know, articulation. It's so funny, the conversations especially that are being held outside of the schooling environment, now that is mostly with employers, is that young people may have the skills, but they don't have the articulation of the skills, and so therefore it's very difficult to place them in a board meeting or to put them in front of potential clients because the messaging does not come out. On paper, they're good. But when it comes to verbalizing what is on paper, it becomes very difficult. And therefore, how do you even take that person on and give them a salary? So how do we mitigate that?
So I think ways in which we've mitigated it in the program is our language component is taught in a way that it's not about grammar, it's not about, you know, sentence construction.
It's not about conjunction.
It's not about conjunction. It's about developing an argument and being able to articulate that argument that's coherent, that's logical, that's methodical.
Well, when we're looking at some of those points of young people being involved in this program, how do I get involved? Number one, because I can imagine that many young people are watching this and thinking, I want to be a part of it. But number two, also for the educators, because you've got an educator component of the program in itself, how do educators become involved? So I'm going to ask you about the young people involvement, and then Zena, we're going to just expand more about the educators.
So since this is a national program, we have our own Facebook page, which is the Targeting Talent Program, and you can just search on it, and then through that you'll find the application form, and you as a young learner can actually even apply. Or there's a selection through schools that's actually undertaken by the program itself.
Is it nationally, the schools?
Yeah.
Okay. So every school across the country is able to apply, get those application forms?
Yes, and then Mama Zena will expand on how actually the application process actually works and what exactly is entailed for you as a candidate to be even, you know, chosen within the program itself.
Okay, so a lot of the times when we're doing our research on it, we always get what the information is on paper versus what the information is. So right now, they believe that the information is around Mpumalanga, Gauteng, Limpopo. Is it expanded for KwaZulu-Natal, you know, Mpumalanga, Free State, for example?
Yes.
So they are able to get access to that.
Northwest as well. Yeah.
And then the educator component of this, because I think that this is so important and an important aspect of the program where you guys actually capacitate educators. In other words, you educate the educators so that they can have the desired outcome in the classroom. Tell us about that.
So basically, all of our participating schools send their maths and their science educators to participate in what we call a week-long maths and science enrichment camp, which happens during the same time during the June-July holidays. The aim of that particular program is really to assist teachers with content areas that are difficult, that we know are problematic. Maths and science. Exactly.
Yeah. Why are they difficult? I'm going to ask, why are they difficult? Because I would think that if you've gone through the program and if you're a qualified teacher, when you know this stuff, the reality all the time, you should be able to teach the subject matter. But we find that teachers can't teach the subject matter so that they qualify?
So I think, Faith, it centers more around the pedagogy. So many educators are not informed around how to teach those particular concepts.
So why go to school?
Well,
this is a conversation that I'm going to probably have to have with the Department of Basic Education and Higher Education. Yeah.
So I think the objective of having the educators involved is that we also know we can't select everybody in all the schools.
Yeah.
So the aim of working with educators is we know that at least the impact could reach the whole grade that they're responsible for teaching.
Okay, so then you capacitate them. They go through the program. Do they have to pay for the program? Is it a free program?
No, it's not a free program. So we are completely donor funded. So even though learners out there may submit applications, our donors identify specific provinces that they particularly like to work in.
Okay.
So it would be dependent on the school and whether they are on our database, although schools can apply to be part of the program.
So the schools can apply to be part of the program. Can the educators apply to be part of the program as well?
They would have to be part of the school that's selected.
So the part of the school as well.
That's
okay,
correct.
So for more information, obviously we're going to visit the website and find out more information about the application process as well as the process of becoming an educator who's educated enough to teach in the classroom. Such a touch point. Such a touch point. Ladies, thanks a lot for joining us this morning. All the best with the mentorship program.
Thank you.
And when is graduation? Have you graduated?
I've graduated.
You've graduated. What are you doing now? Honours?
Yes. I'm completing my honours.
You're doing your honours. Yes. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Getting girls that are educators in it. Thanks a lot for joining us this morning as well. Speaking to the project director of the Student Equity and Talent Management, Zena Richards, and Wits graduate Tumelo Marule. We're looking